Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start having conversations about Kyrie again. He is back in the limelight. And Uncut Hoops decided to make this video called ESPN Gets Destroyed by Kyrie Irving. I know a lot of y'all actually aren't fans of Uncut Hoops, but I feel like I'm about to agree with him on a lot of this today. So let's get it popping, y'all. Links to this video will be in the description.
He's not worth it at all. A matter of fact, let me say this straight up and down. I think
Pause.
Kyrie Irving should retire.
How does Kyrie look now?
He looked like a fool. He looked crazy. Who? Kyrie Irving. Okay.
We are witnessing one of the most delusional athletes in American history.
Oh, brother.
He is a bona fide hater. He is so jealous and he envied LeBron James that he can't even hide it no more.
Oh, wow.
If there was an NBA award for the biggest comeback of the year, proving fans wrong, NBA executives wrong, and especially the NBA media, Kyrie Irving will be a runaway winner of said award. And with hindsight being 2020, looking at that Dallas-Brooklyn trade, what Dallas traded for Kyrie Irving?
Nothing. Dinwiddie's off the team. Finney Smith, I don't know. Is he still on the team? That's a first round draft pick 5 years from now. And a second round draft pick 6 years from now, bro. Like, what the and when did he trade for them? Or when did they trade him? 2 seasons ago? Or last season?
It's actually comical, as the big-time Haul Brooklyn guy was Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Dallas getting Kyrie Irving, the trade grade for them, was a D from ESPN. At that point in 2023, Kyrie's overall value, the perception of him as a player, even a person, was at its absolute lowest.
Yep.
And Kyrie really, since that point, has done everything right.
Yep.
As this year in Dallas, 25.8 points on 49.6% shooting, 41% from deep, and 90.7% from the free throw line.
We need the because I really need Kyrie to get all of his flowers this season, bro. We need to calculate right now how many points Kyrie would need to score. Specifically, what percentage Kyrie would need to score to get that 50, bro. Because I need Kyrie to be able to... Because he was close, I think. Nah, he actually hit it in 2021. 50, 40, 90. Nah, bro. He's made how many shots this season? How many shots? 56. 562 out of 1131. Nah, bro, I need that 50. Need that 50. So if he goes to 564, and if we don't get this quick, it's fine. We'll just move on. Divided by 1133, 47, 564, 564 plus 10 divided by 1141. Okay, if he goes 10 for 10 in his next game, his field goal percentage does go up to 50%. Kyrie, I need it, man. I said I need it. Come on.
Kyrie is mere percentage points away from his second 50-40-90 season. And looking through NBA history, only one other player, that being Larry Bird, has had 2 years of 25-plus points on those shooting splits. It's actually pretty remarkable, Kyrie Irving, despite the drama, the chaos, the media whirlwind, his overall play is always consistent. And even more shocking than that, Kyrie this year wasn't an all-star starter, an all-star, or a reserve. Yet someone like Dame Lillard in the Eastern Conference, who's regressed, was an all-star starter. And for a quick side-by-side comparison...
We might have to have these conversations again. I ain't gonna lie. I thought we was done with them after last season. But, yeah, Kyrie has become one of the most underappreciated stars in the league. For various reasons. I think he's a victim of people putting him in conversations he's not supposed to be in, so he has to get dragged because of it. When you put Kyrie in the most skilled player conversations, when you put Kyrie in best scorers of all time conversations, and the pushback gotta be, wait, hold on now. What is skill? How good is he defensively? How is he? All of these things. Wait a minute. How much does production matter? How much does volume matter? All of that shit. Once you nerd out, like Kyrie's a product. He's a victim of that conversation. of his fans just gas him up way too much. Not even specific fans, specifically bag Twitter, to be honest with you. The BDS side of Twitter, boy, I swear to God, they're responsible of like 30 to 35% of the Kyrie slander. But also, I think like what Uncle Hoops just said, this stretch from 2018 to 2021, maybe even 2022, 2022. Kyrie, he was not a media darling. He was public enemy number one, to be honest with you. After being touted as one of the most marketable players in the league in the beginning of his career, from 2018 to 2022, from leadership issues, from him leaving LeBron, to him stepping on the logo in Brooklyn, to everything that happened with COVID and all of that, you know what I'm saying? His political views as well. Kyrie was just under a lot of scrutiny. To the point where somehow, some way, Kyrie, number one, throughout all of this, has still maintained the production that we know he can produce, which is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Because if I was in his shoes, I would have been distracted by so many things. I don't know how I would still ball out there and average 27, 6, and 5 on 50, 40, 90 every single fucking year. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think Uncut Hoops will touch on it in this video. But I just love how, for the first time in Kyrie's career, since he left LeBron, this is the first time where Kyrie has been drama-free. Kyrie has just been putting his head down, playing basketball. And the game has rewarded him with, in my opinion, the most enjoyable career of his career that I've seen from him since those early Cleveland days. Kyrie, this might be psychoanalysis like crazy. It is what it is. It may sound parasocial. It is what it is. But Kyrie Irving looks happy out there. Kyrie Irving looks happy playing basketball out there. And for a minute, I kind of thought Kyrie was about to retire early with the way he was talking. I thought he was on some, man, fuck this shit. My legacy cemented. You know what I'm saying? All of that, this, that, and the third. I thought Kyrie was ready to retire. But I think Dallas, Luka, that whole franchise, just the way that they've been playing, the way that he's been away from the drama, I think has rejuvenated and in some ways revived Kyrie Irving's career. You know what I'm saying? He used to be one of the most marketable, talked about players in the league because of the way that he played, the stats he was putting up, the plays he used to pull off. And even despite, he also had one of the best shoes. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a small thing, but one of the best shoes in the league. Kyrie was set up to be a superstar. But all of that has kind of gone away because of the last 4 years. And I'm glad we are paying attention to Kyrie again in the best way possible. And we are just talking about hoops for once when it comes to Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And I hope it stays that way. Not on some shut up and dribble shit, but you know, sometimes you just gotta. It is nice to just. Can you just appreciate what I'm good at? You know what I'm saying? Can we just? Geez, I'm not trying to go to work and hate it. You know.
Harrison, look at Dallas trade for Kyrie versus the Bucks for Dame Lillard. Which team got absolutely fleeced? Of course, the Mavs trade. Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a couple of picks. The Bucks getting Dame gave up Drew Holiday, one of the vital pieces of their championship team in 2021, who for Boston, I would say has been one of their unsung heroes, a guy who's steady, consistent, and a great defender. Also Grayson Allen, who with Phoenix, the best shooter in the NBA. And of course, a few first-round picks. Kyrie going to Dallas for pennies on the dollar was one of the best steals of all time. And Dame going to the Bucks, blowing up that team, one of the worst moves in recent history. And looking at the Dame versus Giannis pairing, coming into the year, what were we told? This duo, the best duo in the NBA, their pick and roll is going to be deadly and explosive. And to be fair to them, they've had some moments of great play. But in terms of a cohesive duo, gelling together being a perfect fit, they're far from it. Now, compare that to Kyrie and Luka, who offensively are a top 3 duo at worst. And the best thing about these guys, as big-time fourth-quarter players, ISO players, you know down the stretch, both of them can create their own shot or create a shot for a teammate.
I also never got why y'all doubted how this fit would work. Because, number one, I think y'all underrate how capable Kyrie is off ball. I think number two, Kyrie has already proven before that he can work with a ball dominant player in LeBron James. And conversely, or inversely, whatever words you want to use, Luka Doncic has already also proved that he can work with Jalen Brunson. So when you pair these two together, I don't know why you don't think it would work. Now, defensively, the questions are there, right? But offensively, what was there to question about? What was there to question about? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, Kyrie was able to make it work on a team with James Harden and KD too. Understand, yeah, James Harden was the point guard of that team. KD was ball dominant and shit, and Kyrie Irving in that same season was still averaging 27, bro. Like, Kyrie Irving's a bucket getter, bro. Stop.
Looking at Luka, he ranks first in ISO scoring at 8.1 points per game, and Kyrie himself ranks 6th at just under 5 points per game. Out of the entire NBA, only Dallas and the Clippers have 2 players top 10 in ISO scoring. And building off that, when it comes to great NBA teams, great contenders, what's one thing they all have in common? Late in the fourth quarter, in the big-time moments, all the great teams, great players, great duos can generate quality looks for their teammates and themselves. I mean, look at last year's West Finals.
Play is important.
Jokic and Jamal Murray, why they won that series was their crunch time play and the shots they created. The East Finals, why Boston lost, because Tatum and Brown struggled creating their own shots and shots for teammates. And most times
But even then, I think the reason why Boston has gone as far as they have the last 2 seasons is because of exactly what he's saying. Like, I understand it's also the reason why they lost because of the lack thereof in the ECF. But the reason why we made it there, late game shot making from JT in game 6 against Philly, and game 7 was the 50 bomb. And then last season, the season we made the finals, 46 on the road against Milwaukee. Come on, bruh, stop.
The fourth quarter became
against
very,
Brooklyn
very
too?
stagnant. In regards to late game play not being stagnant, getting good looks, Dallas offensively, one of the best teams in the league. Defensively, improved, not great, but offensively, top tier. And looking at since mid-February with Kyrie Irving, their record is 23-6. And the post-All-Star break Mavs post-trade, them in the fourth quarter, the best team in the league. Scoring-wise, 29.1 points, second only to the Spurs, which really first among legit teams. Field goal percentage, 50.3%, second only to Denver. Offensive rating, 4th, 5th total made threes, 7th in percentage, the second fewest turnovers, and 3rd highest plus minus behind Denver and Minnesota. When it comes to the 2024 Dallas Mavericks, I believe this team, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is built for the postseason. And looking at the Western Conference landscape, what's one of the big-time major themes? Youth versus experience. A team like Oklahoma City, record-wise, metrics-wise, destroys Dallas, blows them out of the water. But looking at their starting lineup, who's their big-time veteran presence?
Let me tell you right now, bro. Every single year, there are certain teams that, home court teams, I feel like try to avoid seeing in the first round. In the East, I think it's Philly and Miami. You do not want to see Philly with Embiid in the first round if you're Boston or Milwaukee or New York, depending on, you know what I'm saying, these last 3 games. And you don't want to see Eric Spoelstra, Bam, and Jimmy in the first round. You just don't. In the West, a lot more names, but specifically, you don't want to see LA. With Bron, AD, and the crew that they got peaking the way they're peaking. I know they've lost the last 2, but I still think they're peaking at the right time. You don't want to see them, and you don't want to see Dallas. And guess who's facing them? Regardless, hey, Dallas still might even steal home court at this rate. But guess who's facing them? The Clippers. Boy, this is a legacy match here. I ain't gonna lie. This gotta be the modern version of MJ getting over the Pistons, bro. Cause no way, Luka gotta get the job done this year, man. And if the Clippers lose to Luka, after forming the super team, that pack is gonna hit. But
is it SGA, who himself is only 25? I mean, this Oklahoma City team is the third youngest team in the league, and their veteran leader hasn't played a playoff series since 2020. Even looking at Minnesota, of course, Ant Edwards is dynamic. But Edwards in the playoffs, he'll have games where he's MJ 2.0, and other games where he's Harold Miner Jr. Looking at the Pelicans, one of the sleeper teams in the West, Zion Williamson hasn't played a playoff game to date, and Brandon Ingram had one playoff series in 8 seasons. In regard to the younger teams in the Western Conference, I'd give Dallas the edge over all of them. And why that is Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the old guys, of course in the planned tournament, LA, Golden State, yeah, we know about those guys. But the old teams securely in the playoffs, the LA Clippers. I mean, look at this team, as of late, abysmal basketball. And when it comes to James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, trusting all three of those guys, when it comes to playoffs, I don't. Looking at the Phoenix Suns, Durant, Booker, then Beal, and that's really it. The Phoenix Suns roster, highly inconsistent, one of the worst contracts in the NBA in Bradley Beal, and extremely top-heavy. When it comes to all these teams, the scariest one is Minnesota. But besides that, in a matchup versus Dallas, I mean, none of them really scare me as a big-time threat to the Mavericks. And I'm going to call my shot right now. Depending on how the seeding goes, if Dallas is a 5th seed or a 6th seed, depending on where Denver falls, I think this team realistically is destined for the Western Conference Finals. Now, looking back at the NBA media, when it comes to Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins,
I think Dallas is the definition of a dark horse championship contender. Genuinely. I think they pose some problems for Denver, even if they face Denver, that I think very few teams can provide. And even if we look at the teams that have, you know what I'm saying, that have given Denver trouble, we're looking at teams with bigs that are physical as shit in the Lakers. And Phoenix was given them the fits last season as well, with the combination of D-Book and KD just going at him every possession. 2 elite perimeter threats going at them every single possession, and they just didn't have the personnel to truly lock them down. And when I look at this team in Dallas, I'm sorry, they got both of those qualities. They got both big men that can, you're not about to stop Jokic, but you can make him work on both ends of the court. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, PJ Washington. And then in the perimeter, Kyrie and Luka going at y'all every fucking possession. Good luck. Good luck, Denver.
Nick Friedel, even a Brian Windhorst. All these guys in the past couple of years have just taken a crap on Kyrie Irving. Not just talking about his on-the-court play, but off the court as a person, his mental state, and his ability as a leader. And you gotta ask yourself, why is the media so hard on Kyrie? Well, I mean, it's actually kind of simple. Look at the teams Kyrie's played for, the big-time fan bases, and player fan bases. Of course, Celtics fans despise Kyrie.
Yeah.
LeBron fans...
Unfortunate, by the way. I'm not about to go on that rant in this video, but unfortunate. I think the Celtics fans specifically and Boston media did Kyrie dirty. I don't think he was nearly as bad as everyone wanted to make him out to be. And he got scapegoated. He got scapegoated the worst way possible. And by the end of that situation, when Boston wanted him out the city and he left the city, now he's getting penalized for leaving the city because he promised to stay in the city if the city wanted him, but then they ended up not wanting him, so he left the city. It makes no sense, but it is.
Don't really give him credit. KD fans, Net fans, really indifferent. Kyrie in a very short time period has quote-unquote offended a lot of people. And when it comes to the media, Kyrie's time in Cleveland just downplayed, almost erased.
I also think the Brooklyn Nets made a really big mistake giving up on that Brooklyn team sooner than they did. I'm not sure if it was already done for, they couldn't do anything about it type of shit. But I feel like in hindsight, if they could have kept, not even, like, if James Harden really wanted to go, cool. But if they could have kept Kyrie and KD longer, with how wide open the East is right now, and I understand Boston's there, Boston's beat them before, but even in that sweep, that was a really hard-fought sweep, hard-fought 4 games. I think Brooklyn, especially with what they got in return too, which in hindsight, with the Kyrie trade, wasn't much, if anything. And with the Phoenix trade, McKellen looking too hot too. I think they should have stuck it out a little bit longer, in my opinion.
If you hear Brian Windhorst, Shannon Sharp, especially Nick Wright, talk about the 2016 finals, Kyrie's name is like on the 5th bullet point of that series. Don't forget this guy in Cleveland, their biggest shot in franchise history, and shots in NBA history, one of the top 3, top 5 most important, most clutch shots of all time. And when it comes to big time shots,
that shit was 8 years
I gotta
ago.
do one more comparison: Dame versus Kyrie.
Mm.
Because looking at
You're really
Dame,
trying to push this.
Mr. Fourth Quarter, Dame time, this super clutch player nobody can stop. And then there's Kyrie, who, meh, gets tossed aside, kind of forgotten.
I don't know about all that now. I think he's kind of gassing this argument, right? I don't think people just Kyrie in a clutch even now, but
big time clutch killer. But looking at this year, Kyrie versus Dame in the 4th quarter, not even close. Kyrie, 5th in the NBA in scoring at 7.4 points per game. His shooting splits, 51-42.
I think specifically in the clutch too. Hold on, let me look it up, chat. NBA clutch scoring, clutch stats. I think specifically in clutch situations, Kyrie has been killing it. Like, Uncle Hoops is looking at 4th quarter scoring specifically, but if we look at traditional clutch, if we look at points, Kyrie is 4th in points, and in clutch situations is shooting 60%. 60% from the field, 42% from 3, and 96% from the line. And in these clutch situations, the Mavericks are 16-4. Like, that's crazy. That's actually insane. You can make a case that Kyrie is the clutch player of the year, for real. Dame, however, on the other hand, I'm trying to figure out where Mr. Lillard is, and he may not even be in the top 50. That's kind of crazy for Mr. Clutch player. Oh, okay, he's number 8. I'm tripping. All right. 8th in clutch scoring at 3.8. So not that far from Kyrie at 4.2. But the efficiency, though, 41%, 29%, 95%. I mean, Dame's a great free throw shooter. So, but what's the record in clutch situations? 23-14. Okay. But 16-4 is.
And 91. Dame Lillard ranks 30th in 4th quarter scoring on far inferior 44-34 and 94 splits. And if you want to talk big time late game shot making,
okay,
in the under 24-second category to tie or take the lead, Kyrie shooting 38% from the field, 40% from deep. Dame Lillard an abysmal 22% from the field and 33% from 3. If you want to test someone's NBA knowledge, how close they follow the game, ask them who's better, Kyrie or Dame Lillard. Because at this point, overall value, performance, efficiency, it's not even close. And
I think it might be a case, though, of one, we overestimated how good Dame would be in a secondary role. And 2, if that is the case, it would just depend on what you value, right? Would you value the dude who can be a first option better? Or, okay, these two motherfuckers are second options right now. Who's playing better? Because I still think if I need a floor raiser, if I need a carry job from one person, even to this day, Dame would probably still be my guy over Kyrie. And I'm actually interested to see how Dame is going to play without Giannis in these next couple of games, also in the playoffs without Giannis, because I have a feeling Dame's about to step up. And I think that'll say a lot about Dame as a player. But in terms of that secondary role, who's a better second option? I think Kyrie is better off ball. I think Kyrie is honestly better defensively. And yeah, I just think Kyrie needs the ball less in his hands. I think he can operate way better than Damian Lillard as a second option, especially if we're talking about this season. So,
on the cake, Milwaukee mortgaged their whole future on Dame Lillard. The Mavericks got Kyrie for pennies on the dollar. Yeah. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching.
Listen, man, listen. Shout out to Uncut Hoops for the video. I feel like the times we've reacted to him on this channel has been relatively negative, but I wholeheartedly agree. Well, not wholeheartedly. I think he's kind of gassing that this segment right here, with no one caring about Kyrie. But I agree with a lot of what he said in this video. Great video from Uncut Hoops. And also shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to Kyrie. I'm glad he's getting positive recognition lately. And also, I wanted to bring this up, bro, because y'all were being so fucking nasty. Thank God I remembered to bring this up. Y'all were being so nasty with Kyrie early in the season. This was in November, by the way, and I got it bookmarked. Y'all were being so nasty with the fact that, Luka turned Kyrie into a spot-up shooter. Kyrie's being misutilized. Kyrie fell off. All of this shit. When it's like, damn, this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the bag, bro. Like, Kyrie was just as effective as he always has been. If anything, it's a good thing that he's playing off ball and not just dribbling. He's playing winning style basketball. He's just minding his own fucking business. But even when he does that, that's a fucking problem to y'all. And I got a lot of these tweets too, chat, by the way. It's not just that one. It's this one. It's this one. They turned Kyrie into JJ Redick. And it's this one. And there's more of these. I only got 4 for y'all right now. Luka does to stars what they want you to think LeBron does. Kyrie should never be a spot-up 3-point shooter. It's honestly more of a Luka diss than a Kyrie diss, but nah, bro, y'all were going crazy in the beginning of the season, and I think y'all OD'd. But with that being said, appreciate y'all for watching this video. Shout out to Mr. Kyrie Irving for the season that he's having. Dallas as well for the season that they're having. And I'm out, man. Peace.